Shells. There are trillions of them, and they all have one thing in common. There's something underneath them, which is why I'm going to flip over 100 shells at Tiger Tail Beach. Right behind me. That's where it is. It's right here. Anyways, right off the bat, you'll never believe what I found. Absolutely nothing. But that's fine, because when I looked over, I found a tire. I don't really know how this got here. Here's kind of what I'm imagining what happened. Yo. I tried lifting it, but it was completely stuck in the sand. This doesn't matter though, because we are at the beginning of my journey. And as we get closer to the end, the things I'll find will only get crazier. But right now, we have business to attend to. Then I found a seagull, named him Gary. But then you won't believe what I found. It was nothing, I just felt like messing with you. Shell 15, I found something. I don't know what it is. Which, can someone please explain what this is, because I might turn into Aquaman after this and I don't really know. As I was flipping some other shells, someone asked me why I was flipping over the shells, and I told them I was trying to come out of my shell. After that, I found a sand dollar, and then another, and then another, and then another. At this point, it's getting concerning how many sand dollars I was finding. I even found some live ones and put them back in the water. On shell 27, I found a band-aid and what looks to be like a booger, but then I found a super massive sand dollar. Yeah, I don't know how this keeps happening. On shell 32 and 35, I found some pretty cool shells until I came across a jump rope that was stuck inside the ground. Oh. At this point, I had been out here for a while without much success, and honestly, I was starting to question if there was even anything interesting under these shells. Maybe I just spent hours flipping shells just to find a bunch of disappointment. But you know what they say, 99% of gamblers quit before their big win, and this was my big win. I had found a sunken boat. I don't know how this got here, and honestly, I don't really care as long as it has some pirate treasure. Oh dang, is this like an old boat? This is an old boat. Here's a tire. Yeah. What is that? This is a crab. See that crab right in there? Oh my gosh, wait, what is this? Oh, there's another crab. Where's like a shell that I can poke it with? There's a stick. Got my weapon. That is a very dead crab. That is also a very dead crab. I guess we take the soda can. So that was a little bit disappointing, but there are still some chances to find some crazy stuff. And as I was flipping over shell 41, an old lady spawned in, and she told me subscribing to Cam Sends would really help boost his ego. Okay, maybe it would, but honestly, that's not the whole story. The truth is, I have a dream that only you guys can help me accomplish. Right now, I'm trying to reach 10,000 subscribers, and when I hit 10,000 subscribers, I'm going to do something absolutely incredible. Something no one has ever done before. Something that will change my life forever. I'm going to do absolutely nothing, but I'll be happy, and that's what really matters. Anyways, the actual reason she came over was not because she knew about my incredible dream of doing nothing. She actually was going to teach me how to tell which sand dollars were alive and which ones weren't. Apparently, if a sand dollar is purple and covered in tiny little fuzz hairs that move around, it's still alive. But while it's white and smooth, it's just the shell, which would have been really helpful to know before I threw a bunch of them back into the ocean. But now that I knew what I was looking for, I could not stop finding them. There's one, and then 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know if there's any more, but there's 5 of them in a row. Here. Oh, there's one underneath that. That's really, wow. Okay. By this point, I had found around sand dollars. Actually, I want you guys to guess in the comments how many you think I ended up finding. All that I can tell you is either I'm really good at finding sand dollars or everyone just was not looking for them. But then the beach started getting a lot weirder. That's because I started finding live creatures like sea urchins, starfish, crabs, sponges, this thing and this thing. But then I had found a cage buried in the sand, which I tried pulling out. I'm not worthy. No, I can't get that. Hopefully there wasn't any buried treasure underneath it. At this point, I had found so many random things that I decided to take inventory of everything I had found so far. Not pirate treasure yet, but by now I'd found enough sea creatures that I figured I'd teach you a little something about them. But learning is boring, so instead I wrote a rap. Flipped the shell, found a crab, little dude look kinda mad. Sea urchin, pointy guy, touching him I'd rather die. Starfish chilling in the sand, didn't even wave a hand. Dolphin swimming, what a sight. I already ran out of things to write. I don't know why I thought that'd ever be a good idea. Let's just stick to regular fun facts. Numero uno. Crabs actually have blue blood. So instead of using iron like we do, they use copper to carry oxygen throughout their bodies, which is why their blood is blue. Numero dos. Sea urchins have a mouth hidden underneath them with 5 teeth. Scientists even gave it a name, Aristotle's lantern, which sounds way cooler than spiky underwater mouth. Numero tres. Some species of starfish can actually clone themselves. If part of the center survives, one arm can grow into an entirely new starfish. Numero cuatro. Every dolphin develops a unique whistle called a signature whistle, and other dolphins can use it to identify and communicate with them. Basically, dolphins can hear another dolphin's whistle and know exactly who they're talking to. So while we have names like Levi, yeah, I'm talking to you, Levi, dolphins also have their own underwater version of a name. And finally, numero cinco, Gary. I tried doing some research on Gary, turns out he's just a seagull. Still my favorite thing that I learned today though. Now all that was left was to flip the remaining shells. Look at that. Look at that, that's, whoa. Is it like intact? Dang, look at that, that's a big shell. Now that is the size of my face. Look at this. Looks like a weird Lay's potato chip. That's what it looks like. "95, 96, 97, 98, 99, which meant this was shell number 100. And I promise this is not scripted. This is actually what I found all the way at the end of the beach. Another tire. As I was walking towards the tire, I saw something underneath it, and you will not believe what I found. Nothing. An anticlimactic ending, but here's everything I found besides a few things that ended up getting lost along the way. I also ended up finding around 60 sand dollars. Christ is King, see you in the next one.